Some more questions. So we received a question from Suzanne on Facebook, and she says, "Please help," in all capital letters. So I'm panicking. What is going on? She says, "I am stuck for ideas about gift to bring back home." What? Please help in capital letter for that? Anyway, she says, "I want something really New Zealand and not too touristy. Thanks." All right, first up, Suzanne, don't make us panic like that. My heart almost stopped. It's crazy. But let's talk about souvenirs. Yes, that is actually something that you always leave for the last minute and you never prepare.
And then you panic and then you're like, what do I buy?
And then you type in capital letter to us on Facebook, "Please help." All right, so Suzanne, I just did find that very funny. I did love that message. So yes, most people don't prepare what they want to get for gift, but I personally hate shopping and also want my trip to be about, experiencing stuff and not going from one shop to the other. So I usually make my list like early in advance, even sometimes before I go to places, I make my list. So it's all done. And I know after I just have to spend about an hour finding those things. And so I can spend most of my trip doing something else. So here's some ideas for you. So gifts which are typically New Zealand. First, anything to do with jade. So that's green stone. That's very significant in kind of, the Maori culture. You can get some necklaces. You can get some, actually, they even do rings.
Yeah, they do earrings. They do basically all sorts of jewelry.
And you get tokens as well, like some, like tiki tokens and stuff. So you get plenty of stuff to do with jade. I like most actually just a green stone without it being carved, just a little bit polished. I think they look really awesome. So yeah, green stone, very easy. The prices are all over the place, so you can get something rather cheap to something crazy expensive. I mean, we saw some sculpture. Last time we went to the Auckland airport, there was a shop, and one of the sculpture was on discount at 65,000 New Zealand dollars. So wow. But yeah.
But on top of that, you can also carve your own greenstone pendants, which is a really awesome activity to do in New Zealand. And that's something that we've done a couple of times when doing New Zealand's biggest gap year, which, by the way, guys, if you haven't seen that just yet, that's when Robin and I did 365 days around New Zealand doing 365 activities. So if you do want to watch videos on pretty much any activity in New Zealand, we probably have a video about it, so that's definitely worth checking out. And we'll link up to the playlist of New Zealand's biggest gap year in the description below after this broadcast.
Yes,
so getting back to our souvenirs, something else you could be getting are chocolates or candy, like New Zealand specific chocolates or candy. Kiwis are crazy about New Zealand chocolates or lollies. Instead of calling them candy, they call all general candy lollies.
Which did confuse Laura at the beginning.
It did, because in the UK, a lolly is just that thing on a stick.
Like a lollipop.
Like a lollipop, yeah. But anyway,
so speaking of chocolate, I just want to point out one that I love. On almost every souvenir shop you're going to find for chocolate, you have a bag of sheep droppings, which obviously means sheep poop, which is quite funny. Some chocolate, literally like in little bowls like that, which looks like sheep poop, but it's actually chocolate. It's just such a Kiwi thing to do, and I think that's really funny.
But a really cool chocolate brand that everyone goes mad for when they come to New Zealand is Whittaker's. They're just sort of large chocolate blocks, and they come with different sort of flavors and fillings, usually like hazelnuts and stuff, but then something maybe a little bit more Kiwi, which is L&P flavored, and L&P is the local sort of soft drink in New Zealand. Like a lemonade,
but that tastes a bit more like lemon. Another one is actually a hoki poki, which is very, very Kiwi. It's kind of you get some honey, you kind of make it harden, you just smash it with a hammer, and there's a lot of bits and pieces, and you put that in chocolate.
Otherwise known as honeycomb.
Yeah, okay. But they call it hoki poki here.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on, because Laura today is talking a lot about the Lord of the Rings and chocolate.
I can go a little bit nuts when it comes to Lord of the Rings.
Merino wool items as a souvenir as well is, it's very much New Zealand merino wool. You can get, like Laura actually did for her mum, some thread to go knitting. So that's the basics, and so it's made of merino wool. But there's plenty of merino wool items as well, which yeah, it's very Kiwi, very much. Any wine or beer made in New Zealand, it's always cool to bring some stuff like that, which is quite cool.
Yeah, locally made wine or beer is always good.
Yeah.
You can always go for merchandise, which is quite famous, like famous brands in New Zealand. For instance, the All Blacks, which are the national rugby team. If you have anyone in your family or friends that likes rugby, then getting some All Blacks like mugs or any sort of merchandise. Yeah, definitely the jerseys are the popular ones.
Wait for it.
Get some Lord of the Rings merchandise.
Here you go.
Go to Hobbiton, get yourself some like an elf robe or something. That's always funny. Yeah.
All right. One of the biggest, one of the most known thing about New Zealand to bring back is Manuka honey. It's something that you can only find in New Zealand. It has a lot of medicinal purposes. It's a massive business here in New Zealand, and it tastes really awesome. So Manuka honey, typical New Zealand stuff, definitely worth getting. It's a unique New Zealand gift, and it's not like a kind of a cliche kind of gift. But another thing that I personally used to do, and I think it's pretty cool, is to send postcards. So, every time you go to like a different city, you send a postcard of that city, and instead of having to bring back gifts or this and that, especially, if it's your parents, something like that, you just send one postcard for each of those places. I think it's really fun, and it gives you kind of like a little album, because then you get back home and you get one of those postcard sleeve albums, and then you just have a postcard album from all the places you've been to. So I think it's a good way to do gifts and stuff. So
that's cute.
Yeah, that's quite a fun one.
Yeah. Again, we do have another article on Backpacker Guide with all these suggestions, so we'll make sure to link that in the description as well. And if you do like the answers, remember to give us a like, and if you're new here, consider subscribing as well. So we do everything about traveling in New Zealand, so this channel is pretty much the place to be, and you'll want to subscribe.
And if you have any questions, put them in the comment below. We get to it right now, or we get to it next week.